thrilled to be able to welcome Evgeniya Simmons, who is a longstanding member of the XR women community, and she's a visionary leader in the XR industry as the CEO of VR Travel Expo and Vertex Form 3D. She has over a decade of experience in the travel industry and a deep passion for technology. She pioneered VR Travel Expo, which is a cutting edge app designed for curious travelers, and she's leading the development of an open source framework for social VR applications. And that's what she'll talk about today. And these are aimed at accelerating industry growth and empowering others to build their own standalone apps. Evgeniya combines her expertise in Blender, Unity, and C# with a steadfast commitment to fostering innovation and community within the XR space. So, everyone, please join me in welcoming Evgeniya.
Thank you so much, Karen. Awesome to be here. I hope you guys see me. I have a little video. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see everything?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
I can see it.
So first of all, I'd like to thank XR Women. I am fascinated how
Yes, I can see it.
throughout the years, all the presentation have been improving. Every meetup, whenever I have a chance to meet, it's just so inspiring, and to see the community growing. I think you guys are doing an amazing job in helping us, kind of being our backbone and a community that we know we can always come in and bounce ideas off, meet people. So I really appreciate that. So yeah, today we're gonna be it's a kind of launch. We've been doing very soft launch of the new company that I'm gonna share today. And a lot of you know me as the founder of VR Travel Expo, because this is the main app that I've been working on. But some of you here know me as a 3D artist, because I've also done a lot of workshops. I helped a lot of students and just people who are interested in VR to start in VR, how to develop 3D environments. I'm going to talk a little bit about that.
Excuse me, just one moment, Evie. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but we understand that some people are having a little bit of trouble hearing you. So can you please turn on your megaphone?
Oh, sorry.
And then I think there's somebody else here who is, it sounds like a cat.
Hello?
Mute that person.
All right. I think megaphone is on right now.
That's better.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Much better. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So yeah, today we're gonna do kind of in two parts. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I started in XR, VR Travel Expo, and how we started with Vertex Form 3D, and we hopefully will wrap it up before Meta Connect. So these are some of the things that I identify with. I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States 2008. I have a bachelor degree in English language and continuous education in tourism and hospitality. I'm a VR developer, geospatial enthusiast, and the founder of VR Travel Expo, Vertex Form 3D. I'm a community builder. I started VR in ER Southwest Florida meetup group. I'm also mother and wife. I have two little girls, 4 and 6, will be 7 soon. So a little bit of background. As I said, I'm an immigrant. I specifically immigrated to New York City because I was absolutely obsessed. I had $400 and I had maybe 2 connections. And it was one of the most stressful and I would say dangerous things I did, but I didn't want to think about it. I just wanted to be in New York. I got a job in a travel agency. It was kind of semi-basement, but I also got a side job as a model. So I was at least getting cool clothes. I wasn't paid with money, but they would pay me with clothes, which actually helped me to look fashionable in New York, I would say. So I was absolutely obsessed with New York. Everywhere I went, I was taking my camera with me. You can see here some of my pictures. I wanted to learn everything, the history, the culture. I wanted to try everything. I was reading books. I was joining various walking tours. And yeah, every time I had a chance, I would snap a picture. And you can see here one of this picture. This picture was posted by the Central Park Conservatory. And you can see, I was obsessed with architecture. And one day I thought, I love New York City, and I work in this travel agency, and I don't really want to do it anymore. Why don't I get a tour guide license and become a tour guide? And it wasn't very popular with young people. It was mostly older generation. But I went ahead and I passed the test. I had excellent score. I had one of the highest scores, that I got a star next to my name. And I started giving tours. I had people from all over the world. From Canada, from Mexico, from Europe. I had groups, student groups, private groups. It was honestly, one of the greatest times in my life. And then I got a job, and then of course I continued working as a model. So I kind of combined all of my dreams of New York City. So, and then in 2015, I was hired to work at One World Observatory. So if you maybe don't know, it's the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. And I was a part of the original team. I was the first female to be hired. I started working there 2 months before it was open. So this building was built near the Twin Towers. And I found this historic piece of video that I would like to share with you. Let me know if you hear
it. I'm not hearing the audio.
Can I share the audio through the frame? Do you know?
I believe there is an option to do so.
You can, and when you do share, you have to make sure that it says, I think you have to do it on a specific tab, and it says share audio on the tab when you do screen share. Try that.
To share audio, share tab or screen instead. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Sorry. Let's try this. Oops. Can you hear now? Let me see. Oops. Can you hear now?
No,
unfortunately not.
No.
Oops. 1 second.
No.
Okay, 1 second. Share screen. Also share tab audio. Yep, it shares. Okay, it should. Okay, gotcha. Right here. All right. It should work now. Can you hear?
Yes, I hear.
All right. Okay.
Yes, I hear.
And you can see I was doing a presentation. That's me. It was on the very first day of opening. It was called City Pulse. It was one of the most advanced pieces of technology. We were presenting, talking about New York. And also this one was connected to my Instagram, where they would take some pictures from my Instagram and in real life would share. And then they had also ad with me. I'm standing here talking with clients. I have this Mayo bracelet that was really cool. We would stand, we would move the screens just using our hand gestures. So that was very cool. But how did I start in XR? So I have to take a few years earlier in 2013. About 2012, 2013, I started getting all these notifications. I guess YouTube knew that I was in trouble and was giving me this cool concept of Google Glass, what you can do. And me being a tour guide, I immediately thought how cool that would be if I could maybe create a 3D model of George Washington. And back then it was very popular to point at the picture and the 3D model would come up. So I thought, I can maybe find some company who can help me to develop this app where I would have a group on the Wall Street and I could maybe pop up a dollar bill and I would just, the George Washington, instead of me telling what happened, he will give a note of office. And this is the quote that I got. It was $15,000 for 1 minute. It was 2013, and you can see valid until May 25th. And I thought, what, this is crazy. I can't afford it. I'm working as a tour guide. If this is how much it costs, I should go ahead and learn it myself. And I didn't know where to start, so I decided that I will have to go to the New York Public Library because I found some information that New York Public Library was hosting Photoshop courses. Well, okay, let's start with Photoshop. So, and during this Photoshop courses, the instructor said that as members, we have access to LinkedIn Learning. Now, it used to be lynda.com, where I searched and I found various courses on Unity, Blender, and about 2 years later, I was able to build stuff like that. So in 2016, I got married and we had a baby. 2017, we moved out of New York. We moved to Florida, where I had a little more time. I became a stay-at-home mom, technically, but I never stopped working because I decided that all these pictures that I took of New York, I will put together and I create a book. I decided to run a Kickstarter fundraising campaign. I raised over $6,000 from over 100 people. I've designed augmented reality app. It was about 32 augmented pages. I ran the campaign. And this is the book as it looks today. It's very nice to come to some of my friends' houses and they all have this book on display on their coffee table. It's really good. I feel like it's a little jewel that I have at the time when I lived in New York City. So, and then 2020, I had the second baby. And this is where COVID happened. She's my COVID child. And this is when I discovered Altspace. I also got VR headset at that time, and I was hooked on Altspace. It was one of the coolest things that ever happened for me. It was great community, and I started building VR Travel Expo. It was called, if you guys remember, Travel Deck VR. I think Karen will remember. And this is Laurel. She's here today. And you guys, this is so funny to look back and see what it was. It was just a simple deck with a couple of overhead things. And people liked it. People still came and they were very supportive. And then slowly it grew. I built this big expo hall. Then we hosted events. And I added coral reef. So coral reef was very popular among people. The cruise ship and all of this right now moved to my app, as I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. So in 2022, Altspace was shut down. And of course, I was trying to look for a place to host my places, but I couldn't find it. Eventually, I decided to go ahead and build my own app. And luckily, So I started with Udemy courses. I had 2 different Udemy courses that I was following. Then I got help from 2 software engineers. One of them was actually here today. And of course, ChatGPT was great help. This one doesn't have an audio. And you can see here a little bit of, and then we were able to build the whole app and publish it on the MetaQuest. We have a lot of testers that we are very helpful, we're very grateful for them to come and help and find bugs. The goal for me, of course, I didn't have a place. I didn't want to trust any other company. I decided that I want to just build my own to keep control over that. My goal to this day is to create a community of travel enthusiasts and travel industries. Travel industry is very famously afraid of the tech, especially VR. So it's slow. It's very slow work to make sure that they understand that this is not a competitor. We're not going to take job from you. People not going to be traveling in VR instead of real life. It's just a place for you to connect, attend events. And this is a space travel hall. I was inspired by my visit to the Kennedy Space Center and decided to add, because there's a lot of talks happening about space travel. So I decided, why not? I'm going to add this hall as well, so we can host maybe some events, invite speakers to talk about that. And some of my favorites environments, for example, the coral reef, you're going to have an event, a place for divers, maybe to discuss, maybe some diving trips, or just hang out, have fun. Then we also added cesium tiles, which is will give you an opportunity to travel around real places. And we've added the fly mode. This was one of the coolest thing, because I was able to fly so far. When you're flying around the Earth as to scale, you realize how little space human take actually, because there's miles and miles of nothingness, right? Just nature, and it's cool. And then also we added New York City, where actually we also recently had an event, several people, and it was so cool. I took them to the around Manhattan, and this is something I would dream. It's not perfect, right? There's a lot of glitches, but 10 years ago I would never dream. I had different ways that I was trying to create Manhattan out of like snapshots that I was taking, and this is now available to us. Yes, it's not perfect, but it's getting there. And this is the One World Observatory where I worked. If you tell me that I would be flying around this building 10 years later, I would think you would crazy. But so my goal, like, I really would like to bring travel community in this app, to create itineraries to take us on tours. I would love to go to Shanghai, maybe Singapore, maybe Australia, or places like Mount Everest, to go on a tour, learn about the history, learning about culture. So this is what I really want to create with this app. However, I started running into sort of brick walls and problems that led me to pretty much the topic of today, why I started the open source framework. Because I'm not only developing the VR Travel Expo, I'm also a freelance designer. I work with a lot of different clients from across the industries. And the first issue that I started to run into is that, how do I market myself as a designer, as a 3D artist, if I have to market another company to tag along, right? Like, where am I going to put all these environments? It's okay if the client, for example, already uses metaverse, if they already in the metaverse, they understand how it works. But if somebody's not in the metaverse, how do you sell yourself? Okay, well, I can build you this environment, but you have to go to a third party, create an account, and I can't really transfer my environment to you. I have to, give it through the back door or something. So it's very not professional. And this is one of the reasons that we need a very unified, easy to use framework. And this one is one of my industrial clients. They're also starting to get interested in the metaverse. This was something that I created for them to see how their models will work in 3D instead of what they're currently using. So, and then there were other issues. So let's move forward. So next issue, right? So we have loneliness. So when I started working on, well, let me list it first. Lonely, it's expensive, it's slow, it takes very long time because you can't hire a full-time team to build it for you. Very painful because every time there's something breaks, it hurts you, it stresses you. Instead of focusing on the content, you always have to be fixing bugs, building the framework. It's very stressful and complex and get outdated quickly. And this was the picture I took this past January. It was the group that I was running for 3 years. We are in the of Southwest Florida. But I told guys, I said, I cannot handle to host events every month. I want to focus on my company. And as soon as kind of let go, I had more time. But at the same time, it was very isolating because now I couldn't bounce ideas off. I couldn't share my work with people, right? So the sense of community is very important here. And that's why when with VR Travel Expo, we kind of were at the point where we had to upgrade, we had to change the engine, Unity. So there was a lot of changes that need to be made. And I talked to Arjun, and I made this decision. We're going to separate the framework. We're going to remove all our assets because I do want to work with other people. I do want to build my own a separate app for myself and for my clients. And it's very hard. We're all doing the same thing over and over again. The same thing. The framework is the same. What's important is the content. But we've been hurt for so long. We're losing our content. We can't have control of this over the source, the core architecture, which is not that important, but it's keeping us very locked up. We cannot continue building content easily when we run all that. So as I said, originated from VR Travel Expo, where we recognized the need for broader collaboration with the XR community. And I have a little bit of and this is the vision that I have. So the core framework is going to be sitting on your computer, right? So we don't put any layer, like some companies that don't put a layer of their branding. So you have to go through the SDK, you have to publish it. But no, we just wanted to give the whole access to the source code. And then you have, ability to create your own apps. We will have some kind of maybe pro version, which I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. So I would envision the VR Travel Expo will be here, Evgeniya Simmons, some other apps, your app. I know Joanna is here. She's working on an amazing app, the music app, and she can share her. I would love for you, Joanna, to share your link to your app that you guys had also in Outspace that you guys, she told me they don't have a space for it now. It's just sitting and waiting for the right time. And I was like, this is amazing. She has this awesome music meditation app that she's working on, and some other. There's a lot of apps. So here's a little preview. There's no audio here, so it's a kind of video slideshow. So the framework is ideal for building immersive application education, healthcare, travel, geospatial, etc. So currently built with Unity game engine. These are some of the things that already included and is completed. We're just finishing up a few glitches that we had run in the last few days. We're going to finish it up, and it's already on the MetaQuest. You can test it out for yourself. But the core package we're going to be sharing with a small group right now. If you're interested, I'll give you details. Unity 6, Excel Interaction Toolkit 3, login panel, MetaQuest support, multiplayer with PhotonPon that supports 20 concurrent users, dynamic addressable asset system, cloud delivery. So this was very important because as I was building VR Travel Expo, I ran out of space. So my Meta allows you only 1 gigabyte, so you quickly run out of space. So we broke it down. Everything is in the cloud, and we also will be explaining how to do that. We have a UI. Every user can access the UI with the button and a few other things. So this is a little bit of a preview of what's inside. Karen, let me know if there's any question too.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say that it's pretty amazing to see me your journey from your passion for New York City and travel to here.
So here's we have I created several environments which you can utilize for whatever. It's either art gallery or something else. And then we have my bright space. Again, everything it's Unity, so it's all customizable. You can do whatever. The only thing that we are currently working on, our first model, our first package probably won't be as connected as we would like to in terms of pulling updates, because the more I dig into it, the more complex it is, because we don't want to break anything that you've built by updating it the wrong way. So this is a whole new process that we have to go through and figure out, so we don't break anything that you've done. And that will probably come with our second version. And also this one is XR toolkit that Unity provided, except that Unity only give you like just this game room, no multiplayer, nothing. It was not even synced. We did a lot of work. Arjun did an awesome job of syncing everything, because now we can see what we're doing. I remember Laurel was once, we came like, what are you doing? What are you doing? We can't see each other, what we're doing, because it wasn't synced. You have no idea how hard it is. Every single step is just incredibly difficult, extremely complicated, and just the waste of time and energy and money and resources if we all do it separately. If I've done thousands of tests on that, thousands. I lost count. And if I do it the same, then somebody else do it, then somebody else do it, the same thing over and over again, then what's going to happen? We're never going to build metaverse. This is a fun game. Come on, Shape. My daughters actually love playing. They absolutely love it. If you need a confirmation that Gen Alpha loves VR, talk to me, because I have 2 Gen Alphas and they obsessed. They want to play in VR all the time. They constantly asking me. I don't give them a lot because I'm like, yeah, I don't want you guys to spend a lot of time on here. But
Evie, I have a couple questions.
go ahead.
So what skills would you need if you were wanting to build something in here?
So
Evie, I have a couple questions.
Because of your the audio sharing.
So what
video.
skills would you
there's
need
no audio
if
here.
you were wanting to build
But I mean, there's a big echo.
Oh, there's big echo?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
From when Christine and I speak.
I don't know. Do you want me to do something? Because I'm not sure. Maybe somebody needs to mute.
Yeah, it looked like everybody was muted.
Okay, interesting. Not sure. There's no.
I think if you are able to use headphones instead of a speaker on your own computer, because I think we're hearing us through your speaker.
Let me try. Can you hear me now?
We hear you, no problem.
Oh.
The question is, no, I'm still echoing, aren't I?
Maybe
you could mute while we're talking.
What's that?
Maybe you could mute while someone's asking a question. Maybe
so it happens only when the question's asked?
Just when we are speaking.
Okay.
Maybe
let me finish the presentation, and then I will take questions and I will figure it out. Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah. So this is our next package that we were starting to work on. This will be aimed at the pro developers. It means like my vision is that we work with the larger organizations, either schools or big groups that will need a lot of different developers to work with you. So if you remember, Altspace and Spatial, they all have this Creator SDK where you don't have to touch the core SDK, where you just give it to developer your developer SDK, and then they build an environment and they publish it on top of your core project. So this is my goal. This is what I want to build. But again, it's going to be on your computer. You're going to own it. We're not going to build any layer on that. And then we're going to work on Ready Player Me integration, messaging system, friend search, and net functionality, events management and admin tools, group summon feature that's important for educators, and scene sharing, presentation, cloud delivery system want to improve to build to publish directly through the package. And then mute ban, of course, video conferencing, user profile. So this is all of the things that like normal framework would need, right? So we can move on. We can continue working on the content. This is my goal. Just continue start working on the content, not bothered by the hardships. So, and another thing that I would envision is the marketplace, because the difference between the marketplace that you would normally find in, Epic Games or something else, or Unity Asset Store, is that it's not configured for the use case that we have. Because if a developer designs something in C#, it's not going to work with our avatar, right? There's a lot needs to be done that our avatar understands. If this is a car, should I drive it? Will my hand will stick to the wheel? Will I be able to fly the plane? So there's a lot going on in here. So I think what we want to do is our own little marketplace where the clean assets, small, optimized, developer can sell their environments, developer can sell their scripts. Maybe there could be a scenario if you have an AI, the job training, or if you want something else in healthcare. So maybe a developer would publish something on the marketplace, or maybe you can request something built for you, and then you will find a developer who can build for you. But it has to work with our framework. So everybody needs to understand how the framework works and make sure it is not going to break anything. So one of the things that we talk about, packaging, one of our first things is going to be the fly mode, right? So we already have the fly mode in VR Travel Expo. It's not going to be included in a basic package, because this is something add-on. This is something developers will package separately. So we're inviting a team of developers, maintainers, testers, and project managers to join this exciting project. We're also seeking for grants, sponsors, investors, and crowdfunding opportunities. If you have any information on that, let us know. Or if you would like to also be a part of the second generation, the bigger, the second package, maybe you have a school that you want to implement it and be our licensee, or license this package and help us grow, that would be also great. Email me, because we're going to put a small team together to distribute the package, to start working together. And the framework is available now if you go on the website, there will be a link to go to install it on the MetaQuest, that you can go ahead and try it. And if you run into issues, we're constantly updating, and there's a next update coming very soon. So I think that might be it. Let me see. Oops. Yep. And we also can help if you're struggling. If you need just quick help, we can quickly do it in like a day or so. We'll work with you. We'll have a consultation. We'll help you to go through everything, so you don't have to. And we're going to set it up for you. If you need 3D environments, like actual content creation, also reach out, because we have a team we're building right now, a team of engineers. And I have a lot of connection with great world builders. We're also going to help you to build. And yeah, I think that's it from me. And what I want to do is to jump into Unity. I'm going to open it up, and I will take questions while having my framework open, if that's okay.
Really amazing, Evie. Thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing. Great story, and a great tool and platform that you're building. It's really exciting to see. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Accomplished. Yeah. While she is working on this, does anyone have a question for Evie?
And we're not echoing now, by the way.
Good. Good.
I have a question, but I also know that Christine and a couple others had some. Did you want to ask those questions now?
I have a lot of questions. I'll probably have to go offline with Evie and ask them. But
Yeah, I see. It looks like Joanne Shivanti has questions.
Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
I have
great.
a lot of questions. I'll probably have
So
to go
my
offline
question
with Evie
is,
and ask them. But
the worlds
was
that I built
wondering-
in AltSpace, are they going to transfer easily into here, or will they require, additional work? Because I've put them in VR chat and spatial, and they're not exactly the same. There's several things that are missing. So I'm just wondering how easily they'll transfer.
So what you will have, what I would recommend you to do, you don't have any scripts there, right?
I don't know the answer to those questions. My builder takes care of that stuff.
Yeah, I would say no, because that's what I did. In Outspace, we're not allowed to use any script. So I would say it's just a regular environment with your assets. What I would recommend you to do is to start a new Unity project with Unity 6. Right now we're using 6.0.16. It will be in documentation, and just start uploading in there to just test if there is any issues. There should not be. If maybe there can be some issues with shading, but it's all possible to resolve. As you can see, all of our environments, they all came, from VR Travel Expo. Actually, I'm going to be transferring VR Travel Expo assets as well. But no, you should not have any problems. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
This Unity 6, and then we're going to explain to you, instead of our assets, you will create your own assets, and then we're going to explain how do you add. This is, you can see here, remote scenes. Instead of our scenes, you're going to replace them with your own scenes. And then we also have a database that we created. Hold on. Over here, and this database comes with three actually. These two show up in UI. Once you add another, like a plus over here, then you put a name of your scene as it is exactly, and then this scene will show up in your but this will require like an entire different workshop that we're going to do later on.
So I have a question, if it's okay. It's Caroline. Sure. Yeah, I just echo what Karen said. The complexity of both your honesty and also your journey here is impressive, and the fortitude that you've had to just keep going and have this vision, and it's remarkable, really. I want to ask a little bit of a kind of a zoom out question around thinking about how do you see the evolution of open source ecosystems like yours in relationship to others that are out there, and if you're aware of any others, and also just how does this reflect into the interoperability as people are building their own worlds and their own platforms that can be building platforms. And I know we have some already, obviously, in this community, but that's always my thought process, is how do we negotiate the fact that there are a lot of different people out there building their own platforms. And again, I'm a huge supporter of open source work. So can you speak a little bit about your perspective about that?
Yeah, so I've looked into, a few open source. There's not many. There is one, I looked through what they have. They don't have as much as we have at all. So my goal is here to focus mostly on this social, multiplayer, professional applications, right? Rather than just gaming or something. So what we had in AltSpace, we would have here. And the thing is that competition in open source is a great thing, right? If somebody would create something, I would probably love it. It's probably not going to be the same. They might have different use cases. And the thing is that you will come to the end line because it's so many people will drop out in the middle, right? I was ready to drop out many times. If I was like, okay, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. It's hard. I don't want to do it. What do I want to do? I want to travel. I love traveling. I want to learn about the world. Where do I go to learn about the world? I guess my app. Like where else? Yes, and I'm like go in circles. So this keeps pushing me, motivating me. So, but if some of people will create open source, that would be awesome. Another thing, open source is also different, right? So, for example, I know this Metaverse Standards Forum, they're doing a great job. They're also focusing on open source, like Mozilla Hubs, they're doing something. What I picked Unity, right? So Unity is not a fish like technically an open source, right? It's a private, it's a public company, but they're not like technical and open source. But our project, project built on top of Unity, they can be open source. I picked this engine because I feel like they showed their resilience and sustainability, rather like Mozilla Hubs, they didn't figure out the revenue model, they were struggling, they shut down. So that's a loss to the community. But I think sticking with Unity is a good choice because of how many people use Unity, how many people know Unity already. And that is something that I want to continue. Interoperability, again, I don't know if they will apply here. I think Unity is doing something great with that. They do have something like GLTF import, so that's something that we're gonna look into that. So yeah, they're doing something on their end, so we don't have to worry about that in terms of like importing assets and making sure they all work with Unity and stuff like that.
Thank you. Thank you for that. No, it's a complicated question. So no, that's great. I appreciate that's a thoughtful. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I see Nate has a question, and I'm going to paste in some links that Evie shared with me earlier. So Nate, please go ahead.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to ask, so this platform is like, it sounds amazing once everything is built, but how much of this is already built that we could already get involved with?
All of this. Arjun is here. I hope he's still here. I can see him. Just yesterday I was testing, and Laurel sent me the lands the other day, and we figured out, we're freezing. When somebody leaves the room, I'm freezing. Where is this coming from? It wasn't there before. So this is the things that just drives me crazy. I'm like, if we have to sit there, I can't think about content when I constantly have to fix bugs. And I think this is the last issue that we have left, right, Arjun? If you can hear me.
Yes, and yeah, like I already fixed that issue and shared the build.
He did share with me this morning. I'm gonna work on it. And then the other thing we're building the tutorials, the kind of like documentation, and I think it's good to go. Like if you go, I think Karen sent that link to Vertex Form 3D, and you can go now into MetaQuest already and install it. So if you click on the link, click join button, then you will find it in your MetaQuest headset. And it's gonna be freezing just for a second if you testing it with multiplayer. So we're fixing it tomorrow. And if you're interested, send me your email. And I think next week we're gonna start sharing it with the small group to test it.
So you're launching it today?
Well, I'm sharing it. Yes, I'm kind of sharing about it today, but it's almost ready. So if you will send me your email. It's info@vertexform3d.
Okay.
Then I'm going to put you on the list. I know Joanna will be one of the first one. I don't know who else today. If you guys want to also be a part of it.
Will all of these spaces be interconnected? Like if I build a space for, say, a classroom environment, for example, will it be connected to everywhere else, or can I limit what my students can have access to? Things like that. I'm kind of worried about like if I double a bunch of kids in a classroom in VR headsets, will they wander?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Uh, it's probably up to you. There is a way to block them from coming if like you click on the link and they'll be like enter password or something. But you can always, like for example, when they log in, if you don't want them, if you just want one environment, you probably can shut up the main screen like that, and then it will not be.
And then just populate it with my own entry
Yeah.
portal. Gotcha.
But yeah, this is why we need to work with community to figure out all of that. Like password, as you saw, maybe there was password protected spaces, so you password protect everything that you don't want them to go. That's kind of like more advanced system. But we do have one option.
And he's saying the opposite. He doesn't want them to leave.
Oh, it's not here. We do have a button that you can use that will say just go to this place. It will be just a button. It's not going to be in the UI. But again, it's all individual. If you need something custom, like let us know. We'll work with you. We'll have to find a solution for you. So that's how we're going to continue building. If you guys want to support, if you need something for yourself, let us help you. Let us make some money. We can continue investing into the framework.
Gotcha. Do you have documentation on the site, or have you started building documentation?
We are
for how
actually
to learn this stuff?
Can you still see my screen over here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the very basic draft that we're working on. I actually have one person that helping me. He is great with GitHub, and he will be kind of going over the steps. You'll have to do this and change your Google, or we could probably do Unity Cloud or Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud, whatever you want. Then we'll explain how do you do bundles. Honestly, it's going to be very easy compared to what we built. It's going to be like 1% you have to do configuration. I'm not promising it's easy, right? You still have to know Unity. You still have to understand something. But if you build for Altspace or if you build for VR chat, it's going to be almost the same thing.
Right. That's the appeal of this, right? We don't have to worry about any of the other administrative stuff, all the platformy stuff, right?
And they have so many restrictions. Like most of my environments on, for example, I don't want to name a platform, but it's a popular platform. They're not accessible because I am exceeding size limitation. It's like, what do I do? Like you can't get a break. And I don't blame them because all these companies they have, but I always say, just imagine yourself, you wanna share your website with someone. You say, okay, go to websitespace.com, search for my website, ignore the salad of other apps that are around it. It's not at all about our industry, it's about everything else, but don't worry about it because my environment is somewhere there on this website. It doesn't make sense. I feel like everybody have to have it on the website. Our goal is also connect the web. So the web already started testing it. If you go to my website, evgeniasimmons.com, you'll see a couple of environments that are running on the web, running on the WebGL. If Karen maybe can type it out, evgeniasimmons.com. So the mushroom forest is there and my industrial client, industrial metaverse there. And we're going to start to bridge it. So the VR backend and the web front. So this is my biggest goal, to connect them together.
Yeah. I just would like to acknowledge that it is 1 p.m. Eastern, and that means that this is the official end time for this event. And I know that a lot of us want to watch Meta Connect, including our presenter. So I think we're going to have to draw things to a close now. But please join me in thanking Evie for this great presentation and for all the good work that she has been doing for such a long time, driven by passion and curiosity. And it's really great to see. Thank you so much, Evie.
Thank you. Yes, and reach out to me if you need any questions on LinkedIn or website. Yeah, anywhere.
Great. All right. Excellent.
Yes, hold on
Excellent.
just a minute.
Thanks so
I'm
much,
sorry.
everyone. Now, we had, if we had talked about the possibility of streaming into this space to watch MetaConnect. It
Sorry
does
about that. I had something
require
else run under my phone. I couldn't hear you.
Facebook, streaming from Facebook, as I understand it. And
Oh,
I
thank you so
personally don't
much.
use Facebook. I'm not on it, so
Okay, bye.
I am not able to do that. If another one of our XR Women team members would like to do that, that's fine. Otherwise, maybe we can chat about this on the XR Women Slack. If you're not yet on the XR Women Slack, it's a great place to stay on top of information about our upcoming events and to connect with other members. And I will drop an invite into the chat right now so you can join if you're not there yet. Okay, there's the Slack. There you go. So yes, and our members chatter channel would be a good one to use for this discussion of MetaConnect. But again, thank you so much, Evie. I'm sure it will be some interesting news for us all today, and look forward to that, and look forward to catching up with you further, Evie, and seeing your progress. And thanks everyone for coming today.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Evgeniya.
Yeah, you got some dancing going on there.
Just so everybody knows, if you go and download the Meta app, you can go right into Horizon Worlds. There's hundreds and hundreds of people already in there waiting. So that's
Wow.
just an app on the phone.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Julie. I think I'm going to hop into my headset and join that way. So, okay.